Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. This is the other end of the podcast, and this is Corey.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob.
I actually have real tears going. This is called method acting.
I'm an actor.
Acting? Thank y'all. I thought about tragic accidents involving my mom
Being run over?
Yeah, run over.
By you? I mean,
No.
like, completely accidental?
Me and Rob went on like a weird like B horror run there for a second. But I just thought about the greatest shot ever of like somebody getting hit, like run over by a car that like rolls down a hill.
Mm-hmm.
My mom has a rear view camera
In the rear. Oh, yeah.
in the rear view mirror,
Right.
and I feel like a great shot would be the truck rolling down the hill, and then we get like an inset shot of the rear view camera,
Right.
and her like noticing it, and, like obviously not my mom, but like that was the inspiration.
Right.
We went down a rabbit hole.
Well, it was killing your dad.
Between us, it's not unusual that we go down a rabbit hole.
It was killing your dad, and then the not the trust fund, but the inheritance going to mom. So then obviously we got to take care of mom too in a way that can't be traced back to you.
Right.
So.
But obviously, I love my mother and father.
And there will be no murder.
Nothing is happening to them, or else I will avenge them. Like, who's the one who avenges?
The Avenger?
No. Who's the one? You like him a lot. He wears a T-shirt and like a
Punisher.
Punisher. Yeah, I'm gonna be fucking going Punisher style on anybody who tries to kill my parents. Or Batman. That would probably be the more appropriate parent killing revenge story.
Punisher got his wife and kid killed. That's why he's a Punisher now.
Yeah.
Although Punisher is
so I'll be Batman.
But Batman has that I don't kill people.
Where is he?
He has the I don't kill people policy.
Yeah.
And I feel like you are a Punisher where you're like, give me the information, I won't kill you. Thank you. Boom. Dead anyway. I don't give a shit. I'm going to kill you.
Anyway, before we get too far down the road.
Well, let me ask you, because let's swing into that first. Is there a Punisher movie coming up? Is that on the list?
Let's see. I was talking with Rob about this before we started. I am an indie filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much my niche.
Sure.
I'm the type of person who will make a movie for like
$1,000.
Well, hopefully when we're talking feature, it's going to be a bigger budget than that. But like,
we made a 2.5-hour movie on $1,000.
Let's say that we did anywhere from the usual indie amount of like up to $5 million.
Okay.
Rob, keep count as I go through this.
Sure.
This is the production schedule of the next 6 years, or I guess 5.25 years of superhero movies
from all
the studios.
Right.
Big Hero 6, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Fantastic Four, Deadpool, Batman vs Superman, Captain America 3, X-Men Apocalypse, Doctor Strange, Suicide Squad, Sinister 6, Wonder Woman, Wolverine 3, Unknown Marvel movie, Fantastic Four 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Unknown Marvel movie, Justice League, female lead Spider-Man spin-off, Venom Carnage, Lego Batman, The Flash, Unknown Marvel movie, Unknown X-Men movie, Aquaman, Unknown Marvel movie, Amazing Spider-Man 3, Shazam, Unknown Marvel movie, Justice League 2, Cyborg, Green Lantern, Thor 3, X-Men, Gambit, Sandman, Justice League Dark, Untitled Superman movie, and Untitled Batman movie.
Okay, so that was 25, 30, 35, 40 films.
40 films over the next 5
years.
years.
Well, 5 years. Okay, 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like,
everything's done.
We're in October right now, so we have Big Hero 6 and then nothing else for the rest of this year.
Although some of those are already done and they're coming out in the
spring. Right, yeah, I mean,
so.
they're filming Batman and Superman right now.
Right,
so.
but that's for 2016.
But that's 40 movies?
40, yeah.
Okay, and we guesstimated that the average budget of like the production and marketing is about $500 million for each one of those.
Well, that's what Marvel spends. The problem is DC. We haven't seen really their movies.
Right, but I'm saying like somebody might go over a little bit, somebody might go under.
Sure.
Let's call 500.
Ant-Man's not getting $500 million in promotion.
But if we're doing 40 films at $500 million a clip,
a lot of fucking
$80 billion
right, yeah.
over the next 5 years in superhero movies.
Wait, that math isn't right. 500,000 each. So that's
500 million.
500 million. So that's 2 movies for $1 billion. That's $20 billion. 20 billion. Because it's half of 40. 20 billion.
Half of 40.
20 billion.
Yeah.
Not doubling, half.
Yeah,
Still a big ass
Still a big number. Still $40 billion in superhero movies
Sure.
that are coming out over the next 5 years. Let's say I make a movie for $5 million.
Right. If you were making, let's say, 500 Days of Summer.
Right.
For $5 million.
Yeah, for like $5 million. And I could make, let's see, 200 or 20 billion.
Yeah.
How many is that? That's.
How many is 20 billion? 20 billion is a number. That's.
Yeah. It's 40.
Oh, how many of those?
40 million of those movies.
20 in 100 million, and that would be 200 in a billion, and 200 times. Oh shit! Yeah, it's 100 million movies.
Yeah.
You can make 100 million of 5 million movies for 20 billion.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking movies.
Yeah. And a lot of good movies, I imagine.
That puts up money. That's a ridiculous
amount of money.
Can we just
not make Aquaman? I guess is the thing I'm thinking about.
They did that on Entourage, and it looked really good.
Yeah, but it's in reality, Aquaman is not really good.
Well, no, because you have to spend in a water tank the whole.
I just don't imagine that anybody really wants to see Aquaman.
I didn't read the comics were boring. If the comics are boring, where they can do whatever they want, it's either going to be all CGI or it's just going to suck.
Okay, another gripe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which X-Men movie. Yeah, my arms are folded over because I'm so angry about this. I don't remember what X-Men movie it was that had that guy from Friday Night Lights playing Gambit.
Oh, yeah, that was the most recent one. It was the...
No, not the most recent one. I haven't seen that one.
Fold those arms again for me.
Oh, okay. You're trying to get a shot for the...
That's going to go on. That's going to go on.
Yeah, I'm really upset about it.
It was the Days of Future Past. That's where Gambit was in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I hated about that, being enough of a comic book fan to know, part of the fun of Gambit is him being like deep South Louisiana.
Cajun.
Everybody making fun of the way he talks.
Yeah.
And it's always like he has something really intelligent to say, but it's like, no way to get down the bone.
Not that bad. That reminds
and then
me
you're just like
the guy from the Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
Homie, where you make it?
Yeah, that's kind of the joke. Like, is that like you can never understand what he says, but he's like kind of articulate and like, but everyone goes like, shut up, Gambit.
Right.
But like in the X-Men movie that I saw, he was like, just sort of like non-discriminate South.
Yeah, he was more South Carolina than he was.
My name Gambit, and I'm gonna take that. Like just sort of like drawly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that bothered me about 42.
Okay.
Because Jackie Robinson in real life had a really high-pitched voice.
Yeah.
And his voice was always like, well, I really appreciate Mr. Rickey for giving me the opportunity to play for the Dodgers. I'm just proud to be out on the field with all these great athletes.
But he was playing.
That was like real Jackie Robinson.
He was played by the great Black Hope. He was like, listen, y'all.
In 42, he was like, I ain't going to let no man wear me down.
Right.
I was like, oh, fuck. It's Jackie Robinson, not Roots. Can we like...
Well, and I got to think that the guy who is from he's from Friday Night Lights, right? That is the same guy.
Yeah. The guy who was also in John Carter.
Right. So he's used to doing a Texas accent. Because that's where Friday Night Lights takes place. And he mixed in a little bit of South Carolina, like that golf, not golf, the
thinking that if he closed the gap, if he did a bit of a South Carolina and a bit of a Texas in the middle, he'd reach Louisiana. Yeah.
Turns out he's 8,000 miles off because he's got to go to France and figure out how to throw some French in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anywho, that's a lot of superhero movies not a lot of small budget movies that can make.
Well, no, and here's the problem, is that it's not that they couldn't, because they could. If they have $20 billion to spend on movies...
They don't. They don't, though, because here's the thing. 500 Days of Summer, say it's costs $5 million and it makes $85 million.
Right.
So you're $80 million profit there.
Right.
But if you make Aquaman and it costs $500 million and it comes back as $600 million, then you made $100 million.
Right.
So they're going to argue that the $500 million investment is better than the $5 million investment because it brought back an extra $20 million.
But even though it's not relative, it's not proportional.
Even though for every one of those $500 million movies, they can make 10 of the $5 million movies.
You mean 100? They could make 100.
No, I'm saying like realistically, they could write 10 checks totaling $50 million.
You said $500 movie.
Yeah.
$5 million movie.
Right.
That's 100 of these movies.
Yeah. If they took the budget, they can make 100 of them.
Okay.
But I'm saying in reality, you could only like really make like maybe 10 of them.
Okay.
To split across all the months that you'd be releasing them.
Okay, sure. All right, I got you.
Because it's a tent pole for the that's what they call the big films of the year, the tent pole movies. Like you get one in summer and one in fall. That's usually Academy Award winner type of thing.
Right.
One in winter, which is kind of like, you know,
get us through to the
maybe another award winner type, but that's usually more of your like throwing all your eggs in the basket kind of films.
Hoping for your be the one big film in January.
Well, I mean, in the early part of the year, you're dumping things.
The stuff that wasn't good enough to make it.
January, February, March is where you put your disappointments.
What was the movie that kept getting?
There's another one too that's like, God, what is it? Fucking, it's a holiday weekend where they dump all the shit. It's like Labor Day weekend or something like that.
People don't really go to the movies. So
yeah, something they've figured out that people don't go to the movies on Labor Day weekend, so they release like All About Steve.
Well, but it wasn't there.
I know it's whatever holiday weekend All About Steve was released.
Wasn't there a superhero movie that got bumped from the summer all the way around to winter, and it's coming up this winter, and they're saying
not a superhero movie. It's the Wachowskis with the whatever Rising, Neptune Rising, Venus Rising, Jupiter Rising, whatever.
Yeah, and they're saying that means that it must be horrible because they put it in the dump spot.
I just think they didn't have enough money
to actually do what they wanted to do.
Yeah, they just ran out of time or money or whatever. But
so anyway, so here's the point. Proportionally, yes.
Wachowskis are pretty solid.
So
even though shit, God, what was the name of the one that I saw it was Zach last summer. We spent like a week watching it because it was so long.
Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It had Tom Hanks, which usually I hate.
Polar Express.
No, whatever. You'll put it in the video. We'll have it there.
So but point being, proportionally, the $5 million movie makes more money, but in real dollars, the $500 million makes more money.
But like, if the $500 million movie bombs, like if
they miss out on that. That's a huge investment with no return.
Right. But a $5 million movie that bombs doesn't hurt as bad.
But here's the thing: they could take out Aquaman and spread that $500 million over the 6 years that we have left, and make 10 of your movies a year.
Right.
And spread those out, and if you lose it, you dump the $5 billion or the $5 million. But I'm almost certain Aquaman's going to take a dump on a $500 million budget. Maybe more.
I can't imagine they would give it $500 million.
Well, no, it's got to be more. It has to be more.
Unless Jim Cameron directs it.
The CG.
Get Benny Chase, Mandy Moore.
Exactly. It's going to be mostly CG. So that means the budget's going to have to be bigger, not smaller.
I honestly think the only reason why they're making Aquaman is so that they have a movie for the Justice League, like a lead-in. Well, like they'll just every marketing bit will be about like, oh, you don't want to miss Aquaman, or else you're not going to understand anything about the Justice League.
Right. Well, and the other problem is that the DC universe has gone to TV instead of movies. I still haven't watched The Flash yet, but Flash is my favorite superhero. Dude, it is so good. You have to watch it.
All right, well,
and it's in the universe with Green Arrow or Arrow on the same network.
Yeah.
Like the cities are 700 miles apart, even though they're supposed to both be like the capital city of whatever. But it's fine. They travel Raccoon City and Central City, whatever. Star City and Raccoon City. No, Raccoon City is Resident Evil.
I'm just gonna let you keep talking while people furiously pump away at keyboards. Rob doesn't know anything about the Flash.
Raccoon City is Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Star City is Arrow.
And where's Rainbow Road?
City, that's the Mario and Luigi universe.
Okay. Mario Kart?
Yeah, that's exactly.
So I like Mario Kart.
Our point, I think, is take a chance. Like, the big movies are great, but, The Fault in Our Stars, which I haven't seen, but I hear is amazing because it's based on a book from an author that I love, even though I haven't read the book either. But they made it for like $11 million, and it turned out $150 million.
And you know what? Everybody in that movie didn't get paid really.
No.
Like hardly anything comparatively to like what they would get if they were just like
here's the other thing I'll
open
say.
Market available. But they're going to get back end, so they're going to win out that way.
And big stars, stop asking for big fucking money up front. Go do that little side project. Wait. Go do that little side project you want and take back end. And say, if you believe in the fucking movie, take the back end. and make that $5 million movie a $1 million movie, or make the 25 a 5.
No, there's a lot of people who do that.
Well, and I know.
But I mean, like,
there was one recent. Was it Tom Cruise?
I just watched one on Thursday.
What?
The Judge.
Oh, was that? Did Downey take a backdoor on that?
I have to imagine because his wife was the producer on it.
Oh, so let's give her a movie and I'll take.
Well, no. I imagine that they did something where it's just like, listen, we're not going to take a lot of money. We'll just take back end, right. Or we'll take less than we would normally get, because it doesn't look like it's that expensive of a movie.
Did you end up going by yourself to that?
No, me and Shannon went.
Okay, because I know that EP bailed on you.
Yeah.
Because she got wasted and got her purse stolen.
Yeah.
Wonderful fucking Baltimore City. Although the community stood up, and I fucking love that.
I love that too. Yeah.
God.
We're gonna have to get EP to leave the voicemail about that story.
Yeah, tell us the whole thing. We'll play it next week. But no, it's a really great story. And after Detroit, after ranting about Detroit for the last week and a half and how awesome that was, I think it's good to have that in.
By the way, I would like to implore, Rob didn't tell me to say this, I would like to implore everybody to read the blog post you wrote on Founding the Future.
Oh, well, thank you.
About Detroit, because it was very good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You can go to foundingthefuture.us, go to the blog, or foundingthefuture.blogspot.com.
Or it'll be in the show notes.
And it'll be in the show notes.
That might be easier.
Not easier. Why am I paying for a domain if we're not going to route people to the domain?
Now taking Rob to task. I go from complimenting him to taking him to task. If you listen to either the regular episode or the Spotlight last week, then you would have heard Rob say this, and I would like for him, the political science major,
right?
The person who
not the history major, political science.
The person for a good portion of the time I knew him had the word POTUS in his email address.
Yes. 2020, by the way, which is closer than I like to remember.
They're going to have a Batman movie the year you're supposed to be president. Just so you can start throwing in the campaign-related, one or, you know?
We'd have to kill my parents. Let's go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, let's go down that rabbit hole. Will? Yes, I mean, Rob spit up coffee.
If it's time to die, it's time to die.
Well, if Chris...
I'm right with Jesus. I'm fine.
Anyway, here's what Rob said last week. And I would like for him to defend himself. We're in this little town that's, it was, the president who died in 40 days.
Rutherford B. Hayes?
No.
Garfield?
No.
Cleveland?
No.
I don't know.
William Henry Harrison. Yeah. Harrison.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
And Rob put in the video, overlaid it with the words, yes, it was Hayes. Right. Defend yourself.
Okay, first of all, I was correct. This is what I told you before. We're working under the incorrect assumption that it was the president who died in 40 days, because that's what you said.
Who was? Do you want to go through William Henry guesses
Harrison,
first?
William Henry Harrison was the one who died in 6 days, yes.
40.
40.
30.
40. No, it's 40. It's 42 or 43.
Whatever. All I remember it from the Simpsons song. We are the mediocre presidents.
Oh, that's
right. You won't find our faces on dollars, 1 cents.
Nonetheless.
There's Fillmore, there's Taylor, there's Howard, and there's Hayes.
Fillmore, who is probably the
worst
gay president.
You're thinking of Buchanan.
I am thinking of Buchanan.
Yeah.
I haven't watched The Presidents in a couple of years. Do you have the DVDs? Can I borrow them?
I do. If me and Rob were on Jeopardy and the thing was presidential history, I would be up a lot of points. Well, Alex Trebek would be very impressed with me.
Much like our ongoing lifetime basketball score, you get a couple.
Yeah.
I would finish
every once in a while I say which president died in 40 days, and you say
Hayes.
Right.
So we're working under a flawed premise. First of all, you said we were in the little town.
Everybody stand up for Mr. President. He's about to explain himself.
We were in the little town where the president who died in 40 days. Now, the town that we were in...
To be fair, it was in Ohio where nobody has ever been elected president from.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, exactly. That's sarcasm.
Presidents.
That's sarcasm, sir.
7 presidents. all of the ones I named are Ohio presidents, by the way. All of the ones I named came from Ohio. So, that's number one. Number
the plot
two,
thickens.
Number 2, flawed premise because you said we were in the town of the president who died in 40 days. Now, I correctly named the president whose library we drove by.
Yes.
As it was Hayes.
Right.
But under the flawed premise that then I was searching for the answer to your question, which was the incorrect answer to where we were. I correctly answered where we were.
Maybe you should have written more about it on the video.
I just wanted to prove the point that I was right. It was haze.
What I'm going to do is, to make it easier for you on your video when you make it, is send you just the copy of the video that I titled Rob Wrong.
Okay.
So you can just put it back in there.
Sure.
With the audio.
But no, so here's the point.
Where it says, yes, it was Hayes.
It was Hayes. That's the library we went by. No, it was not Harrison it wasn't Hayes who died in 40 days. That was Harrison. And there are more Tim Hortons in the United States than I thought that there were. Yeah. That's the important thing.
Yeah, well,
There's
of
like
course.
12 of them in the Chicago.
Presidential history doesn't matter at all when Tim Hortons is involved.
Well, they're getting bought by Burger King to hide tax dollars. And you know what? I'm going to make that this week's blog post.
Nice.
How countries are, or how companies are hiding their tax. Because one of the things we said was that it didn't get bought by Burger King, and that's why maybe they're here. Now,
you don't have to worry about that with the Anthem.
We're not going to ship products.
Proud American company.
Yeah, we pay our American taxes.
Yeah, all through Guam.
They're really friendly.
They're really friendly they have a lot of film credit.
Right. But no, so Ireland also just did that. They closed the tax loophole that American companies are using. Not the American government. They didn't close that tax loophole.
Right.
The Irish government did that. Thank you, Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so you were right. Yes, I named the wrong president. Technically, I named the right library, but the wrong 40 days president.
Well, now that we have that on audio forever, I feel
everybody gets to make one mistake in their life. That was mine.
I just happened to do it when it was on a podcast.
It was only a halfie, so that's okay.
Now I have to go through all the other errors you've ever made and just make a super cut.
How about this? I will pay $100 American for any listener who calls in to the listener line. What's the phone number?
443-219-7595.
Any listener who can find something incorrect that I said, the episode number, and how far along in the episode it was. What was incorrect, and most importantly, what is the correct answer? Don't just point out that I'm wrong. You have to tell me what the correct answer is.
And obviously, this can't be of speculative things.
No. I mean, you can't say that Republicans are great when I say Republicans suck.
Right. Or opinion things. But if it was like
a factual thing.
If, for instance, Rob said that Martha Washington was the first president of the United States, you could say, no, it was actually Jorge Washington.
Jorge Washington. Yes. Yeah, the immigrant.
Yeah.
From England. But nonetheless, so
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
The $100 to anyone who can point out, except for Corey, you can't be associated with theanthem.com in any way.
Yeah, you can't be a member of the family.
Not a member of the family, and not a member of a family member of someone who is associated or works for the Anthem. But otherwise, any of our listeners, $100 if you can find an error.
Nice.
And what's that number again? Make sure they have it.
443-219-7595.
So there we go. So that,
or you can text it to me.
Text it down too. But no, texting, you're not going to be able to get all the information in. You can send a text if you want, but you're not going to be able to get all that information in. Episode, time, what was wrong. Yeah. Make sure you include your name, because unless you're in
Corey's send multiple texts.
Well, I guess unless you're in Corey's library, we don't know who you are, so you got to send your name and your email address, and set up a PayPal, because that's how I'm sending you the money. I'm not sending you cash. I'll send you PayPal.
Put $100 bill in an envelope.
Yeah, exactly right. So go searching, see if you can find it. I'm never wrong. So
all right, and moving on to the Open,
right,
that I did, where I was crying over the take me out to the ball game.
Yes.
The World Series is officially set, and it doesn't involve the Orioles. And most years that would have been a formality in July, but
right. We would have already known.
Now in the good years, we're upset that we didn't make it to the World Series.
Yeah. Heartbreaking. 4
Robert.
Games.
Yes. Who's your pick, Giants or Royals?
Res Ipsa. That's the team I'm caring about now.
Oh, just your fantasy
football. I couldn't give a shit less about the World Series. And here's the problem. It's a problem that people were pointing out at both the games. That it's two small markets, even though arguably San Francisco is not a small market. But MLB considers it a small market. Kansas City and San Francisco. And
if you're the Oakland A's and you're trying to build a stadium somewhere, you don't imagine that the San Francisco market is big.
Right. Nonetheless, so if it's the Yankees are playing, I'm cheering against the Yankees. If it's
whichever
Red Sox,
team is playing.
Yes, I'm cheering against them. Bigger teams, I mean, there's sometimes I will watch, but I am so, and the problem is this, I'm so jaded. The Royal, I just, The only reason I'm going to watch is to see I want to see the Royals lose one game. Just lose the first game and shut the fuck up. That's all I care about.
Okay, so here's my point.
Mhm.
And I would like to say up front, congratulations to the Royals on winning.
You outplayed us.
I'm not going to be a poor sport about it.
No, they outplayed us.
However, when the Yankees have a murderer's row of players for them, like, 7 all-stars just in the line, in their batting order, and they act like pretentious douchebags, we expect it of them.
Right.
When you're scoring 2 runs a game, and every single, crazy thing that could possibly happen is happening, you're not allowed to be pretentious douchebags.
Yeah, they outscored us by 7 over 4 games.
Okay, you're the fucking Kansas City Royals, all right?
The team of destiny.
You just I know they say act like you've been here before.
Right.
Don't act like you've won the last 10 World Series and you're on a major roll.
Yeah.
You guys are all right. I know a lot of people are oh man, they haven't been in the playoffs in 29 years. No, they're literally douchebags.
Well, here's the other thing I'll say. The Orioles have always done mediocre.
And look no further than Jeremy Guthrie.
Well, fuck Jeremy Guthrie. But the Orioles have always done mediocre, but they're in a very tough division, so they do well, but not compared to everyone else in their division. We're out of the playoffs in July. We're still doing games better than people out west. You know what I mean? So when it comes to draft time, and this is my point, the Royals have been bad so long that they had a slew of 9 first, number 1, number 2, number 3 draft picks in a row.
Right.
That's how you get that murderer's row. That's how you get that team, is that there is not a bad player on the team because you just drafted the best players from the last decade onto your team.
I'm not. There's definitely great players on the Royals, no doubt.
But that's how they got them, though.
Right, but I'm not the nobody. I don't think there's a single player on the Royals though that you could, if you said you're starting your own team right now, pick
Moose. I'm taking Moose.
No, you're not taking Moose. He was sent down to the minors earlier this year.
I'm taking Moose.
No, he's not worth it.
Clutch.
How many third basemen are there in the league that you would take over Mike Moustakas?
Yeah, okay, but
if you were starting a franchise right now,
and I have unlimited money.
No, they the god of baseball says all right, listen, we're gonna let you have any third baseman you want.
Now I thought we were in a logical world where I have to find somebody who plays well, but I can also afford. Because no matter what, Moustakas is going to come affordably, but he's got talent for being affordable.
Well, right now he does until he starts getting paid, and then the Royals can't afford him anymore.
I guess that's true. We'd have to go back to the beginning of this year, and I'll pull him because I know that he's clutch, and he'll play clutch in the end.
Yeah, but
he's not on the list. You're right.
He was never clutch.
He was clutch in all 3 of the 4 games.
Never until this playoffs rolls around was he clutch.
Right. That's why if I could have taken him.
So you're taking the small sample size of him in the ALCS.
Yeah. Because
defining him as clutch.
Because I think you are better.
You know who was also pretty bad. You know who was pretty bad in their first chance at the playoffs?
Who's that?
Barry Bonds.
Well, that was before the
miserably bad, historically bad.
Yeah, but that was before the.
And then all of a sudden he got to the World Series with Giants, which they lost to the Angels.
And he got that big ass head. Too.
And he had the big ass head, big ass feet.
Right.
And he did quite well for himself. I think he was walked intentionally 15 times and hit 4 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good series.
Yeah. How did the whole? Well, I guess it
the Giants lost, but
didn't get the ring. That's the problem. But anyway, so
I think he threatened to rip a reporter's arms off and beat him with them after the game when they were looking for a comment.
He's not the person I take if I get anybody. But if I'm in a real world scenario where I am
take any of the other positions. Is Eric Hosmer one of the first basemen you're taking?
No.
Is he in the top 5?
You know who I do take?
Is Salvador Perez.
Awkwardly big guy behind the plate who got hit a lot.
Lorenzo Cain?
Cain I might take.
Really? In center field?
Yeah.
So you're taking him over Mike Trout?
And again...
Or you're taking him over Adam Jones?
I'm taking him over Adam Jones.
Ooh!
Yeah, I'm taking him over Adam Jones.
Intrigue.
Because I like how Jones is in the dugout, which is another reason I like Moustakas, because I think he is a Jones-like character in the dugout. But I don't think he takes the game seriously enough. And I think that Adam Jones...
Ooh, shots fired.
I don't think he does. And, I always give Shani shit because she's so anti-Jones.
Oh, Yeah, real quick, just because you brought it up.
Right.
I feel like I should say, for the record, because some of the things I said about Ryan Flaherty last week were a little bit.
By the way, I'd like to say this.
Harsh.
I invite Ryan Flaherty to come on the show. We'll come to you. We will come to you and record and let him have at you.
Okay,
on the program.
That's fine. I would like to say, for the record, though, before anybody starts making calls to Ryan Flaherty,
yeah,
that a big part of that was joking in Shannon's behalf.
Because she loves him so
yeah.
much.
So we go over the edge.
The other part of this is...
Though, to be fair, I might have crossed the line a bit when I, made, Adrian Peterson insinuations and...
You wish that he would have touched that kid in...
And I didn't mean that inappropriately. I seriously was thinking of Adrian Peterson taking a switch to the kid.
Right, sure, yeah. But no, I think that the funniest thing we could do is to do a podcast with Ryan Flaherty on it and not tell Shannon until she listens on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, we were at his house. We were hanging out.
We were just chilling.
He gave us a glass of milk. It was weird. Like, milk? Really?
Milk? Yeah, what's wrong with it? I'm an athlete.
Okay, sure. He's actually really down to earth, Shannon. I think you would really like him.
Yeah. He's a super nice guy.
Very nice guy.
Super nice guy. And anytime I brought up, any of his failings, he was just like, you know what? No, I'm sorry.
I bumbled the catch.
I made a mistake. I can't.
I hate how humble you are. Stop it.
Please stop it. Anywho, I'm going to take the Giants just because my brother's out there.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And I feel like it's a thing to do.
And let's say if the Giants do win, let's go see
Go San Mateo Giants.
Is that what it is?
No, I
don't know what San Mateo is.
It's a city out there.
Ah, one of the complex of super city that they have.
Yeah, because it's like
Oakland and San Francisco and San Jose.
Yeah, and Napa and blah, blah, blah.
The Joaquin Valley, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. Place? Whatever.
Silicon Valley's out there.
Silicon. Yeah, well, obviously.
Yeah. But how about this?
So you have Cupertino and...
If the Giants... what's Apple building out in Cupertino?
A giant spacecraft.
For what?
It's their new offices.
I've seen pictures. It looks like they're digging a spacecraft out of the ground.
Yeah, basically.
So weird.
It looks like a spaceship.
Yeah.
It was Steve Jobs' last...
I feel like he...
They basically drug him up in front of a city council meeting,
mm-hmm.
When he was on his last breath, to be I'm Steve Jobs, and this is my last wish.
Right.
I'm going to die 2 days from now. Can you please just not ever tax us again?
Yeah.
So we can build this thing. And they're like, please, Steve Jobs, do anything. This is me doing a city council person throwing money in the air.
Right. How much do you need?
Stay here.
But
we don't want you to be like, the Anthem and incorporating Guam.
Which is not too. We're incorporating in America.
Yeah.
In the state of Maryland.
Yeah.
Soon, hopefully. No, an important thing
in the palatial the Anthem Studios, deep below the earth in Parkville, Maryland.
The other thing is that I am concerned that maybe Jobs knew something that we didn't, and that when they finish that thing, it's going to shoot a laser beam into space, and we are going to get visited. That's going to be the thing. He was a lizard man, and he made contact with the home planet. Anyway, not important.
He's been the reason why Apple hasn't released a really compelling iPhone in the last 10 years is because they've been using all their technology to summon alien creatures.
Yes.
In hopes that when Apple goes under almost again, like it did before, they can just shoot the beam out into space, and the aliens will come and communicate with Apple directly, and Johnny Ive can just sit across from them. Johnny Ive and Tim Cook can sit across from them and be like, teach us your technology. and then
they'll finally catch up.
And then the aliens, for whatever reason, who speak English, look at they're like, all right, let me see your latest phone. Let me see what you got here. All right, so this is a new one. That's the right size. Yeah, we just released that this year. This year?
We gave that to Samsung 5 years ago.
Yeah, Samsung. How long has Samsung had this? 5 years? All right, whatever. Tell me about what's under the hood. Well, it's got a processor. Yeah, I know that, numbnuts. What kind of processor?
Is this the aliens?
Yeah.
Okay, sure, yeah.
It has a dual-core processor. Ooh, dual-core. Let me fire on my Atari and get really excited about this.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm sure it has things like NFC. Yeah, we just released that. It's a technology that's been around for 10 years. God damn it! Why am I speaking to you, Johnny Ive?
The alien reaches in his pocket.
Look at this interface.
He pulls out his note.
God damn it! It is pretty.
He pulls out his Note 4. He's like, "Let me show you what the newest technology is."
Johnny Ive shows the alien an iPhone. He's just like, God damn it, it is gorgeous. Can I change the colors on the screen here? No. It stays that way. What about a widget? No. Why would you want a widget? Why don't you want a widget? I'm just writing Alien versus Johnny Ive conversation here.
This is going into a soon to be forthcoming
screenplay.
Anyway, here's my
I
point.
just need to find somebody who looks like Johnny Ive.
You're calling the Giants. If
I
the
want the scarf guy in there too. The Apple scarf guy.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say what?
Just fucking when you're making the video, just Google Apple scarf guy and it'll show up immediately. Purple scarf.
And Justin Long's got to be in there too.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Justin Timberlake, who's on the new iPhone commercial. By the way.
With Jimmy Fallon.
I did not realize that was Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Until like I was listening without watching it, and I'm like, is that fucking Justin Timberlake? Yeah, no, it is. Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're calling the Giants. If the Giants win, we have to go see Brendan in person sometime in the next calendar year.
Well, I'm seeing Brendan in person in November.
In San Francisco.
Yes.
Are you going to San Francisco?
Yeah, November.
For what?
For Thanksgiving.
I thought he was coming here.
No.
Oh, damn
Christmas. He comes here.
Okay. Well, we have to make a trip without your family out there.
All right, whatever. Can we go see Zach while we're there, too? Just, like, make a puddle hopper jump down there?
Can we just move to L.A. already?
All right, let's do it.
I was talking to my buddy Mike.
Did you see my Snapchat today?
No.
I was listening to East L.A. in the car, and I just wrote, I miss.
Oh.
No.
But no, my buddy Mike, I was talking to him. He's thinking about moving to Connecticut. And I was like, no, stay. We're moving out there. I'm coming.
At some point.
So I need him to find me a job. Mike, if you're listening, find me a goddamn job. Zach, find me a job. Because I will totally bring Corey as my bitch, and I'll pay for all his stuff if I can get a good job.
Nice. All I yearn for in life is to be somebody's bitch.
That explains that stint you did in county.
That's a new drop. Right. It's gonna be taking over the country.
Anyway, so you're calling the Giants. I'm calling disinterest.
I mean, I don't really care. I'm going to turn on at some point and watch some baseball, but it's gonna hurt inside because I'm like, it's fresh.
Yeah, and I don't care that the Royals win. If they win, great. They've had a long drought. Good for them.
I just kind of want them to get comeuppance.
Lose the first game. Lose one game.
Oh, and lose badly.
Oh, yeah, by a lot.
Like
30-3.
Yeah. Oh, that would be sweet.
Have the Giants just go ham on them.
I do like AT&T Park,
mm-hmm.
where the Giants play. I think it's my favorite non-Camden Yards ballpark.
A place that's not Camden Yards.
Yeah.
Right.
In the non-Camden Yards division, I think it's my favorite. And watching there was the Game 4, I think I was watching.
Oh, of the NLCS?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the wind was like 25 miles an hour and blowing the ball everywhere. And there's tons of clips of like Hunter Pence and the right fielder for the Cardinals like looking up in the sky going like, where the fuck is the ball?
Right.
And it's like bouncing off of walls and like nobody could track it. It was awesome. I love when baseball has like
Benny Hill,
something weird. Yeah.
The blooper reel at Camden Yards where the E and the R in the wrong place and then anyway.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right, so I do want to. Well, we are running long, but I do want to talk about something else that you sent me. Oh, not too bad. Hey, yeah. I wanted to talk about something else that you sent me this week, which was the FBI director talking about phone security, basically.
Yeah, let me pull this up so I can. You talk for a second while I do.
So basically, this is what happened: is that Apple, after the fappening, which by the way, I saw a great article that I want you to put in the show notes, which was we've now reached the end of the fappening. Because now Z-rated stars are releasing their own nude pictures and trying to pretend like it's a fappening.
Oh.
They're like, how dare you take my pictures? And then it turns out that they actually released them themselves. So that's where we've reached the fappening part. But,
Charo is sending emails to like CNN going like, oh, I was the victim of a fappening.
Here are the pictures that they took from me.
It's like, these pictures were sent to us from, yes, this is Charo from TV at yahoo.com.
Exactly right.
I hope that's a real email and people send it.
So,
if it's not, guess he's going to have it by the end of the show.
There we go.
This guy who has two thumbs and a yes, this is Charo from TV at yahoo.com email address. this guy.
So, in response to that, they doubled up the security. They redid the security on their whatever it is that Apple uses. What is it? Skyphone? No.
iCloud.
iCloud.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Skynet.
Skynet, whatever it is. And then Android said, we don't even have a problem, but we recognize that some problem could happen, so they upped their security. And then the FBI director responded by saying, you all are anti-American because you're making it harder for us to hack the phone
so
and
here's
wirelessly tap.
Here's the article from Yahoo that I sent to Rob. FBI Director James Corney warned in stark terms Tuesday against the push by technology companies to encrypt smartphone data and operating systems, arguing that murder cases could be stalled, suspects could walk free, and justice could be thwarted by a locked phone or an encrypted hard drive.
Oh my God!
Yeah. By the way, they've been hacking our phones for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And I would just like to say to the FBI, fuck you, because I'm not really interested in making your job any easier.
No, absolutely. Let's make it a
maybe if you told me from the beginning that you were hacking my phone, and you could come to me with cases like, well, this fresh-faced 18-year-old supermodel was murdered
and that's the
because
other
we
thing.
couldn't access her phone data.
Didn't somebody ask him that?
Yeah,
Give me
there was a Q&A afterwards where a reporter said, "Can you give me one example where having a encrypted smartphone would have like affected a murder investigation?" This is like, well, I can't really get into details.
And also, I just like to give a little perspective. 240 people have been killed by police officers in this country since September 1st. So let that just sink in a little bit.
Including one who they said that he shot himself even though he was handcuffed behind his back.
Shot himself in the chest.
Shot
in the back
himself
of
in
a
the
police
chest,
car.
yeah.
Yeah. After being searched and then cuffed. Yeah.
Right.
Also, a guy who was walking around Walmart with a airsoft gun that was still in the packaging, but holding it out and acting while he was on the phone distractedly, shot by a cop without warning. That guy, too. Mike Brown.
Yeah.
The three other people.
Who?
The three other people who've been shot in the St. Louis area since Mike Brown was shot.
Right.
No convictions, by the way. That's a whole other thing that But nonetheless, so I'm not for making it easier for them. And the thing is, if they had, they are skirting the law. Because if they have a wiretapping search warrant, it doesn't matter. The company will give them access.
Oh yeah, obviously. If you have a warrant, I'm not saying like
that's what they don't want. They want to get around the warrant.
If you have reasonable belief that I'm doing something illegal, and come on, seriously illegal, like not like
smoking pot.
Yeah, something like that. Like if you think that I'm going to like murder somebody, then yes, tap me and figure out what's going on. But just to shotgun blast every single American in the country with your warrantless wiretapping is not. And I love, by the way, just going back to Apple for a split sec.
Yeah.
When the aliens come down and ask them about how secure their phones are.
Yeah.
I love how now Apple is all about security. Now that iCloud has been hacked.
Right.
Which isn't a very difficult thing to do, apparently.
No.
Because hacking Apple computers hasn't been a very difficult thing to do.
But nobody did it.
And guess who would freely give your information without a warrant before?
Apple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you know what you would have to do? Here's a
tidbit.
Here's a what do you call it? Like when they do the unsolved mysteries where they show
a reenactment?
Yeah, the dramatization. Yeah, here's the dramatization. Okay. Bring, bring. Hello, this is Apple. Hi, Apple. This is Corey. I'm a officer at the Baltimore County Police Department. I would like the information that you have on Robert Sheik. His phone number is blah, 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 blah.
None, because Rob don't use the Apple, bitch.
Oh, well, let me take a look at this real quick. Here, I got all his location data for the last 28 days, as well as his calls, text messages, and everything he's been doing with his data. Do you want me to send it to you in a PDF?
Yes, that'd be great.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Actually, I don't know how to open up email. Could you print it and fax it to me? That'd be great. That's Baltimore County, please.
Fax is more secure. What I used to love about BlackBerry before I couldn't do it anymore was that not only did you need a warrant, but you needed a warrant that carried to Canada.
Right.
Because that was everything. Yeah.
No, and
you needed to have enough going for you that they would accept your warrant in Canada.
RIM Why, oh, you fell off. Really?
Yeah.
I had a BlackBerry. We both had
I
BlackBerry.
loved my BlackBerry. And
BBM?
Time Hop was killing me too, because I was like, I saw on Time Hop, it was like 5 years ago, a tweet going like, I love my new BlackBerry, and I'm just like, oh God,
get back into it.
Those days.
Come on, give me a decent smartphone, I'll jump. Give me a phablet.
Just start making the black phone and run Android on it.
Yeah,
like, obviously, BlackBerry 10 is not working for you.
No.
Just put Android on it.
Oh God. Anyway, so but the whole point is this: what they have been able to do in the past is much like an officer could walk down the street and look in your car. That is not no need for a warrant for that because it's in plain view. So they've been getting around the warrant requirement by saying that basically if they can get into your phone easily, then it's not really a search and they don't need a warrant because much like walking by a car, you can see what's in it. Now, they can get a warrant based on what they see from the outside. An officer can then go get a warrant and actually search the car and get inside the car or inside your house or whichever one they want to do. So it helped them to break down criminals. I'm sure that there was a lot of criminals caught because they can look in everybody's car, in this case their phone, and then say, oh shit, what is that? But for instance, I've handled a drug case. I beat a drug case in Caroline County based on the fact that there was a person who was 3 people removed from a drug dealer. And there was a mention of what an FBI expert called drug-like language used in between them. So person A talked to person B and mentioned something that could be misconstrued as being talking about drugs in code.
Hey, do you want to go to the baseball game later today?
Sure. Why? Yeah. Or are we gonna go climb? Are we gonna go climb the mountain? Which, by the way, is apparently code for let's go smoke some crack.
Really?
In some FBI guy's mind is let's go if we're gonna climb a mountain. JR needs to be careful.
I'm gonna be talking about JR and mountains all night.
So,
you're like, you want to go to the bathroom and climb that mountain?
So, person
what
A.
are you talking about?
Person
Come
A,
on, man.
who
I know you like to climb the mountain.
Person A, who
I got a piece of tin foil and a metal pipe and a lighter in my car. A small metal pipe, though, the type you could put in your mouth, not like.
First of all, you don't use metal.
Not a ridiculous pipe.
No. You use what's called a rose stem. It's a glass thing they sell at the.
Oh.
Metal would burn your mouth. You need glass. It diffuses the heat.
I thought there was enough diffusion between the tin foil and the. Yeah. See, obviously, I don't know crack that well.
Apparently, I do. So, person A, who I represent.
Which one of the two of us is a lawyer? Show of hands.
Person A, who I represented, said something like that to person B. Person B said something like that to person C. And person C said something like that to person D, who was, in fact, a known drug dealer. So what the police had done is backtrack and back in time all of this language to find person A. And it turns out my guy was involved in trafficking drugs. Not the important point, though, because they got that information basically illegally. The warrant was invalid because it wasn't enough probable cause to get a warrant. So, and luckily we don't have to go before the same judge who issued the warrant, and I don't have to be like, yo, judge, I call bullshit on that warrant. Like, we got a different judge, luckily. So I got that beat. But essentially that's what happens, is that if they can look in they look in and they say, oh, there's something that could be questionable here, that helps them get a warrant. That's not how it should be. That's not how the Fourth Amendment was intended. Yeah. It was intended the other way, where...
Wait, there's a Fourth Amendment now?
Yeah. Listen, I stand up for all my amendment rights, especially the third. All right? So stand up for the third. Hashtag I stand for the Third Amendment. Do you even know what the Third Amendment is?
That's the one after guns.
It is the one after guns.
Yeah,
and before the searches.
Let's see. First is...
religion, speech, and get together, protest.
Isn't third media? No. Oh, God. Why am I... Oh... It's all right. All this will be cut before we
can everybody call in and make fun of Corey for not knowing his constitutional rights?
Hey, listen. Do
you want me to go through them for you?
No.
One is free speech, free press, and free religion.
And there you go.
2 is the guns. 2 is for guns.
Yeah.
3 is that we don't have to quarter troops in our homes. But nobody ever talks about that.
Yeah.
And I always point to the third to say that, listen, that is something that may come into effect later, but that the founders in their wisdom said we need to address it.
I know the 25th because I watched every single episode of The West Wing.
Right. And what's the 25th?
The vice president can't assume power unless the president is dead or he signs
or incapacitated.
Yeah.
Or signs something out.
Yeah.
And peaceful transfer of power must go back the other direction, too, upon him not being incapacitated or not being dead.
Right.
Which I don't think would ever.
Not being
so
dead.
much. Yeah.
Zombie Obama back.
Someday we're going to have to go through all of the amendments, and we'll see how many that you know, because I'm pretty sure I know most of them.
All right. Well,
do that someday. Anyway, not important. So the whole point of the Fourth Amendment was that it should protect everybody unless there's a warrant. And what our society has said now is that it doesn't protect you at all, really, unless we have something we need to look for. So what Apple and Android have done is say, we're going to get a little closer to the intent and say, yeah, no, you need a warrant to even get close to the information, and the FBI is pissed about it, which just tells me that they've been warrantlessly wiretapping people.
Yeah,
for a while.
the fact that it's kind of like one of those, oh, I'm glad you're pissed because that means we're doing something right kind of situations.
Right. Yeah.
Like, have you ever had an enemy? And when they're upset, you're like, good.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm glad you're
upset. Mm-hmm. That bitch who left me on the altar? Good. I'm glad your tire burst on the freeway. I'm glad nobody was injured but you. Like,
your boyfriend got locked up for dealing drugs? I'm glad.
Huh.
Anyway, and I want to juxtapose this and touch on it real quick, is that people are so upset.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, that was my Ebola.
About the next topic, which is everybody's so goddamn concerned about Ebola. And listen, justifiably, I think that they're downplaying the risk and that there should be some concern about it, but the FBI is warrantlessly wiretapping you. They are invading your privacy in every way. Police are shooting innocent citizens in the street. But
you know what argument I hate?
What's
I don't have anything to hide. Why do I care if they?
Yeah, well,
cause like why do I need to like? Is it okay if I just knock down your door and look at you whenever I feel like it? Like,
well, no.
Well, I know you. It's like, oh, okay. So is it okay if some random stranger just like decides to kick in your door and look at you change? Was it you flicking your bean? Like,
wow. All right.
No,
that happened.
Yeah. So,
sure.
But somewhere, there's a girl who sends out pictures of her flicking her bean to some guy, and she's just like, "What do I care if the FBI can see that shit?"
My God. Well, fair enough.
Well, fair enough, but
you're a whore. But otherwise, just
fair enough. Somewhere in Langley, that's where they are, right?
That's the CIA.
Oh God, where's
Foggy
the FBI?
Bottom.
Foggy Bottom?
No. Where is FBI headquarters?
I thought it was Langley.
No, that's CIA headquarters.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna look that up. And
okay, here we go. It's CIA.
I'm pulling out the phone now.
You can go ahead and look.
I'm gonna Google FBI headquarters and put myself on a list.
It's not Foggy Bottom. That's the NSA. FBI headquarters is in Maryland somewhere. I'm pretty sure, but Langley is the CIA. Nonetheless, so everybody's so worried about Ebola, and they don't care about the government spying on them. They don't care about anything. You have nothing to hide. Is it the CIA in Langley?
No, I didn't look that far in.
Oh, what'd you look?
The FBI is in the J. Edgar Hoover building
in
Washington, D.C.
That's right.
Pennsylvania Avenue.
There you go.
935.
Not Langley. CIA is at Langley.
Okay.
NSA is at Foggy Bottom, which is also in D.C.
Well, fuck me.
So, anyway.
Anyway.
Ebola is a thing.
I hope everybody who laughed at me for not knowing that the FBI headquarters was in Washington and not in Langley gets Ebola. Serves you right.
So,
it'll be another in the string of like, oh, you got Ebola? Sorry.
Good. I'm glad.
Good. Don't make out with me.
So I think that the government response is low. It should be more. But I think that people are freaking out. Listen, if you're trying to keep your kids out of Federalsburg Elementary, where I live, because you're worried about Ebola, you're a fucking idiot. Shut up. You should not have kids because I'm.
You know what I think the problem is? Is that there has been no attractive mothers who have killed their infant childs or congressmen who've sent out pictures of their dicks recently.
Oh, so we have to.
We have to have something to fill all the time on the national news.
Right.
Because it's 24 hours now. I don't know if you've heard that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where can I see this 24 hours?
It's 24-hour news on several channels, and everybody's competing for eyeballs.
Am I low? Am I not sitting close enough to the mic? I feel like I'm lowing. I like the sound of my own voice. There we go. All right, I just had to
feeling better.
I think I was slipping down and away from the
Your
mic.
levels seemed a lot of like, so.
Yeah, who knows? It didn't sound as good in my head. That's what's important.
Right.
So here's the thing. So
it's important what I sound like to me.
Right, exactly. We have had 1 death in the U.S. from Ebola, and we have had 3 confirmed people sick in the U.S. from Ebola.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a shitty death rate. That's
and one of them's coming to Maryland, so everybody.
One of them's in Maryland.
Hide your kids.
They're already at the NIH in Maryland, so they're here. But
nobody make out with EP because she's got Ebola now.
She's the one most likely to get it as a first responder. But,
yeah.
And scarily, she hasn't told me this, but I've heard from other ER people, no training on how to deal with this at all.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we'll treat it like a biological, but not really, because this is a weird biological, because you don't have to worry about them coughing on you. You have to worry about them shitting in your hand.
Right.
In a condition where they shit a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it makes you shit a lot. So, anyway. But the under-response is what I'm worried about.
I wonder how many people who went to Taco Bell are now worried that they got Ebola.
I got Ebola!
I've been shitting all night.
But so
I don't know if it's Ebola or that BV 5-layer burrito I ate. It's probably Ebola.
Now I kind of want Taco Bell. Later on tonight, definitely gonna get some Taco Bell.
They have the little Cinnabon things that are.
Do they?
Yeah, it's terrible for you.
Is it
But
like
I don't care.
four little Cinnabons?
Four little like Cinnabon balls with the creamy, jizzy goodness on the inside.
Right.
And you can't like eat a bit of it and then just let the goo come out. You gotta just like put a whole ball in your mouth.
And bite down and let the gooiness spill.
Put a ball in your mouth and let the jizz take over.
Anyway, getting back to Ebola.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Very serious.
I've been waiting for an opportunity to use my Taco Bell bets.
Ebola is a serious deal, and nobody wants to get it. You're not going to get it from the kids at school because there's no way the kids at school could get it. But we do need to take it seriously. A guy on a plane threw up and then died, and they gave him a cursory examination and let everybody go. This girl gets on a flight from Dallas to Ohio and from Ohio and back, and they underreact, I think, because we're contacting those people, but we're not quarantining them. And here's what I'll say to the people who keep calling for us to shut down flights from West Africa. This is not a disease that is solved by that. And that's why Obama has not shut down the airports. You don't cripple international travel when it doesn't help.
Well, not only that, if you shut down airport traffic from West Africa, they're just going to go to other places to fly.
And that's the problem to begin with. Because you know what? You don't have to come from West Africa. I think I said this last week. You fly east from West Africa to Cairo and then to Europe and then to the U.S. because you're making a trip.
Right.
It's a 20-day incubation. That means there's a lot of travel time.
Do they have an international airport in West Africa that goes straight to the United States?
Yeah. In Nigeria, in Liberia, Lagos, they all have flights to Miami, to JFK, to
I guess
Dallas.
that makes sense, yeah.
Because here's the thing.
I just figured they had to have like one of their like if I want to fly to London, I got to go to Philly first or something like that.
Well, they don't have
Or
those.
it used to be that way.
Yeah, if there was one big country, they might, but they don't have those. It's weird because here's the people commute by airplane in West Africa. You know that?
No.
Somebody would fly from like Nigeria to Lagos for work and then fly back in the afternoon. Like it's ridiculous.
Got to catch my 8 a.m. flight and then my 5 p.m. back.
Exactly right. And I'm like, I can't even comprehend that you would do that. But it's 25-minute flight, so for them, and they're not like 9/11 secure.
Yeah.
You walk through the airport and up the steps, and then
they're just like, "Hey, Jim."
Yeah, right. So like, it's
hey,
not,
Steve.
It's not a big deal.
I don't know why my West Africans are Jim and Steve, but
you
one of them's probably a forlorn puppy. Jim.
Oh,
always falling in love with somebody.
God damn it! But no, so I mean, you show up to the airport. There's no time. You walk through. You show them your frequent flyer pass or whatever, and you fly to.
It's like a bus
city.
pass. You just put your airplane token in,
get in and go. So anyway, so those people.
I would be really fucking pissed if airfare in West Africa is cheap enough that you could do it like a bus.
It's
to and from.
Cheap. It's ridiculously cheap. But you're packed in like.
But if I want to fly to California, like if I want to fly to LA,
right,
and I do it with like the optimum like lowest price guaranteed, it's still minimum $300 round trip.
Yep.
And that's if I'm flying on something that the Wright brothers built.
And booking it a year in advance, by the way. Yeah. Okay.
Like $300 to LA.
Here's what I'll tell you.
Meanwhile, somebody in Liberia is just like, I gotta pay my $5 airfare.
Essentially, that's what it is, though. Here's the thing. It's because you're white and you live in the West. You live in a Western country and you're white and you can afford to pay more, so they charge you more.
Except when it comes to medicine.
No, not true. You know how much one month or 1 year of the AIDS of treatment for AIDS in West Africa costs about as much as a week in the United States.
Ugh.
But that's because the pharmaceutical company prices it according to where you're selling it. So they don't have the money. They proportionally have that much money. If you took your if you took your American dollars, you could buy a year's worth in West Africa.
All right, I've decided we're going to incorporate in Liberia.
Let's wait till this whole Ebola thing burns itself out.
Nah.
We could get like a skyscraper for really cheap in
Detroit?
Freetown now. No, in Freetown, Liberia.
Yeah.
We're riffing about Liberia.
Yeah.
This is what happens. You throw these wrenches in, and then I'm forced to come up with a... Detroit is not Liberia. There is no Ebola in Detroit.
There could be.
There very well maybe. I shouldn't say that. There could be.
There could just be one person with Ebola walking around just coughing on people.
Well, and so,
or trying to cough on people and nobody being there.
Even if we use the CDC guidelines, which say that, I think I told everybody last week, that you can't, it's not about coughing, it's the bodily fluids.
Yeah.
The guy threw up on the plane from Nigeria to JFK before he died.
That guy shit on a lot of people's mouths.
Well, you make it aerosol when you're puking.
Yeah.
Because, you you ever get that splashback when you're puking? You're having just like the worst night ever.
We're about to have a night of drinking, and now you're talking about puke splashback.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Anyway.
Fireball shots.
Oh, God, let's not do fireball.
I'm not going to throw up tonight.
Just tasting the fireball. Anyway, so Ebola is serious. We should take it seriously. You're all overreacting, but take it seriously. Literally, I'm putting stuff up on the website only because I know people are freaking out, and I want to get page hits. And so I know that people are freaking out and looking at everything they can. So check out a Dead Drop if you want the latest Ebola news, because it'll be up there.
Yeah, and I'll put in the show notes.
There you go.
A Dead Drop search results for Ebola.
Hashtag Ebola. You'll find it on the website. But otherwise, maybe a little more concerned that American police officers have shot 240 people. Probably should be, whether or not you are. Yeah, it's okay.
They haven't shot me. That's all I care about.
My closing thought is this. Look up Father Friedrich Niemöller in Germany. He's the famous Catholic priest who said...
Oh, my God. I'm going to put this on the show notes. We're not talking about it right now because I can't remember I was going to say Broad's name, but that's really...
Wow.
Not the way I want to describe
it. Send all your complaints to Corey at OTheAnthem.com.
There's a hilarious side-by-side comparison of the Indian girl that...
Won the Nobel Prize?
Yeah, what is she, like 21, 18, something like that?
She's Pakistani, I think.
Pakistani girl who won the Nobel Peace Prize. Where they compared excerpts of her book to Bristol Palin's.
Oh, God.
And, oh, my God, it was so funny. I was laughing. I was dying.
I want to see that.
I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to try and put it on the show notes. I just got to find it.
Anyway, so the point is this. Read Father Friedrich Niemöller. He lived in Germany before the Nazis took over. And he is credited with saying something to the effect of, and I'm paraphrasing, they came for the communists, but I'm not a communist, so I didn't say anything. And then they came for the Jews, but I'm not a Jew, so I didn't say anything. And then they came for whatever, but then they came for me, and there was nobody left to speak up. That's my point, is that when the police are killing people in the street, no, they're not killing you yet, they're not searching you yet, but if we don't speak up now, it could become very bad very quickly. So we need to. That's the point. So stop fearing Ebola and start fearing the police. That's basically my point. Yeah, don't do that. That's unnecessary. So, well, anyway.
The Anthem can be found at OTheAnthem.com, Corey at OTheAnthem.com, on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Vimeo, and the listener line, which we promoted earlier, 443-219-7595.
And don't forget, if you can find an error that I've made, factual error,
Rob is going to give you $100 in PayPal cold hard cash.
There you go. You can find me online at any of your social networks at Robert N. Cheek, except for Facebook. That's Rob Cheek Esquire, although I still am going to start Robert N. Cheek on Facebook. And you can find a Dead Drop at deaddrop.com. You can find my blog and other political rantings if you like what I have to say. If you don't, you can find that at foundingthefuture.us. And all the links are there. Otherwise, you've been listening